Hey everybody, this is Witch of the Wizard with the Twin Flames, the Twin Within energy update for the week of March 3rd through the 9th. I missed last week. It got hectic again on my Sunday, so I apologize. I'm still trying to figure out a good way to handle when I just get blown out on a Sunday unexpectedly and can't get that up. I don't know how I feel about doing it on Monday or not, but anyway, I apologize. So this week, we're going to start off with, for the feminine energy in us all, we have the Two of Wands. Now, the Two of Wands is the card that I call the Wand of Initiation or Initiative. And so it's the idea of going from the Ace of Wands, where you have that great idea, and then moving into action. And that bridge that connects the inspiration to action is initiation or initiative. So moving into initiation is making that decision to put energy towards your goal, to actually creating the goal and taking that first step. It's that impetus that moves us forward on that first step and gets us going. And that's something that the feminine energy really struggles with sometimes, because the feminine energy is all about it's a passive receptive energy, and yet it's the energy that receives those really great ideas, those inspired ideas. And it's almost like the if you look in this card, it's got his hand out. And it's like the feminine energy is putting the hand out and passing that really good idea to the masculine energy to actually do something with it. And that generally is, the masculine energy's job is to take direction from the feminine energy and move forward with that direction. But there's that, that gap between the two that needs to be bridged. And that's taking the initiative to go from the idea to the action. And I do believe that that is the feminine energy's job, to pass that forward, to pass those directives to the masculine. The masculine, is kind of like, it's just waiting for, okay, tell me what to do, give me the plan, where are we going, what are we doing, what's the goal, right? And so the feminine energy has to really decide, okay, this is a great idea. It's a great idea, but are we going to really plug that into one of our goals? Are we going to take the energy? Are we going to commit the energy to do this? Are we going to commit the time and the energy and the focus to move forward on this particular goal? I mean, you might have, 3 or 4 really good ideas, and you got to decide which ones you're going to do, because, we don't have, we have finite resources in any given moment. Even though we live in an infinitely abundant universe, the ability to take those infinite possibilities and infinite energy and to focus it down into the finite world, we can only do that so much. So personally, so you have to pick and choose what you're going to do, what you're going to spend your time on, and do that. And then once you've done that, you pass that on to the masculine energy and say, okay, here's our goal, here's our direction, here are our priorities, let's go. So that's what the Two of Wands is all about. It's about setting your priorities. It's about setting your intentions. It's about having that clear path of goals and priorities, and saying, okay, do it, let's go. And everything else can wait. So that's the Two of Wands. That's the feminine energy for this upcoming week. And then the masculine energy came up with the King of Cups. So the King of Cups, this is a very masculine energy card. And it's about, once you have risen to the Queen of Cups and learned how to balance your emotions internally and apply them internally, the King of Cups is how to use those balanced emotions externally to yourself, right? So your interactions with the external world. And so a lot of times when we're interacting with the external world, emotions are always going to come up. We're emotional beings. And so not only do you have to wrangle your emotions um, with grace and humility and no small amount of diplomacy and deftness, but you have to know how to meet with other people's emotions in that sort of similarly um, deft with a deft touch, right? So if somebody comes at you and they're really upset, it means not reacting to that and realizing that that's what's going on with that person and really doesn't have anything to do with you. And you allow that person the space to be angry or upset or just be having a really shitty day. And yeah, it would be great if they weren't, exposing that to you. But even so, you don't have to react to it. You can just allow them, their sort of imperfections and realize that, yeah, they're struggling. And it isn't pleasant to be in the midst of somebody who's having a really crappy day and expressing that externally. But it's also okay. And you don't have to, let that get you upset. So that's the King of Cups energy, is really knowing how to not only project your own emotions with skill and grace, but also how to be in the presence of other people's emotions with skill and grace. So, and that's always a great thing. I mean, that's something that I think is probably, I think the King of Cups is the most difficult king to obtain within yourself. That skill set of how to juggle your own emotions externally with skill and grace, as well as juggle other people's emotions with skill and grace. So the King of Cups is, I think, the most difficult king to arrive at within yourself. That energy to arrive at within yourself. So those are the two energies, and as always, we've got a oracle card from the Enchanted Maps Oracle series, and I haven't looked at it either, so we're going to turn it over and see that we've got, this card again. Man, this card comes up a lot. The Bone Collector in reverse. The Bone Collector in reverse. Yeah, that is definitely one of them cards. It's the number one card in the book. So let's read out of it. The Bone Collector. You are whole and have everything you need within. That has certainly been coming up for me a lot recently. But it is in the reverse. The past has a way of repeating itself when you haven't learned lessons inherent in the original situation. You're faced with this now. The Bone Collector is here to challenge you to see yourself as a whole being and not one who is perpetually trying to heal an old wound. Whew. That definitely hits the mark with me the last couple days. You'll repeat the past if you don't reclaim the things you believe were lost. The information you seek lies in your history. Familiarity, in this case, isn't an invitation to dance the old dance once again. Instead, it's a call to retreat and choose differently. The Bone Collector has a message. If you do what you did, you'll get what you got. Her warning is delivered with kindness, for she has deep love and respect for you. She will protect you. I gotta say, last week, I was at my old high school. I was at my high school for my sister got inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame there, the Sports Hall of Fame, for her basketball team way back when, went to state and won the championship. And so I got a chance to go back, and of course, I think, I don't know, maybe not everybody, but a whole lot of people have some really painful emotions about high school. And the reason why we do is because we're all just trying to figure out how to be human beings and during that time. And so as I was walking down the halls and I was reliving all of those painful emotions, it suddenly occurred to me that, I had a lot of really good um, experiences in high school as well. I really did. As I was reminiscing, yes, all the painful emotions came up, all the things that didn't go right, all the things that I didn't understand, all the sort of coulda, woulda, shouldas, all of that. Um, those really kind of bittersweet memories. But then I realized there was a lot of sweet in that bittersweet. There was bitter and sweet. And what did I want to focus on? I still have all of those memories. In fact, it's amazing how clear and strong those memories are to me. And so I can go back and relive those memories and really focus on the sweetness of it all. The just the how innocent we all were. And in fact, I can go back now and take a look at myself and my friends and classmates and see it from a completely different perspective of just how wonderfully innocent we all were in our awkwardness. And in a way, it's just a lot more sweet and pleasant and wonderful, those memories than when I was there. And suddenly I realized that, having the ability to go back and really review that period of my life and see it from a different angle and understand it from a different perspective, I realized that, there was no loss, and there was no real healing that needed to be done with that, because there was no loss. There was the wounding. When we get wounded, it's painful, and a lot of times we feel that with that wound comes loss. But what I realized was that entire experience of that period of my life still reside within me, and being able to go back and look at it from how sweet and innocent that time period was, and to sort of relive that in that different perspective, there's nothing lost. There's nothing lost. And so the wounding came with some painful feelings, but I'm still whole and complete, and I can actually go back and relive that period and not feel that pain, and instead really focus on how wonderful of a period it was. And so the bone collector, is saying that everything we need, we have within us. What was that? I'll read that again. Yeah, you are whole and have everything you need within you. And it's true. No matter how you think you got wounded, or no matter how wounded you were in whatever experience in life, you're still whole and complete. I mean, even if you lose a leg or an arm or something really drastic, like a really drastic wound, what like Buddhism tells us, and the Buddhists tell us that the pain is the illusion of separation. It's the illusion that somehow, in those experiences where we suffer a very painful emotional experience, somehow we're less now. Somehow there's less of us. We've lost something. And the Buddhists say that that's the illusion. The illusion is that we've lost something. The reality is that you can never lose any part of yourself. The illusion is that you're somehow less than what you were because of that painful emotion. When in reality, that painful emotion was just a painful emotion, and you're still whole and complete in yourself. And And the illusion is that you need to be healed. You don't need to be healed. None of us need to be healed. We're whole and complete. We're always whole and complete. We just need to give up the illusion that we need to be healed. We need to give up the illusion that that painful experience somehow lessened us when it did not. It never did. It never will. We just believe it did. But no one ever needs to be healed. You just need to realize that you don't need to be healed, that you're already whole and complete. You've always been whole and complete. That's the key. That's the key to healing yourself, is to allow yourself that you did have a really painful experience, an emotionally painful experience. And that was real. And it hurt. But it didn't wound you. It didn't make you any less than what you have ever been in your life. That's just something that we allow ourselves to think. It's the illusion, right? So I think that is the real trick to healing any part of us, is to realize that we don't need to be healed. We need to learn how to handle those painful emotions and handle those memories that that bring up those painful emotions. What's that other saying? In life, pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. And I believe that that's true as well. You know, we feel pain, and that's okay. That's just part of our how our emotions communicate with us through pain, physical pain, emotional pain, even mental pain. When you have like a really bad case of cognitive dissonance, where you're trying to, you have a belief, you have two beliefs that are just that are butting heads against each other. That these two beliefs cannot exist in the same mental space. And when that happens, it's called cognitive dissonance. And if it's strong enough of a belief system that is being challenged by another belief system, then it can be really, really painful. And so that's where the pain is, and the suffering is, believing that that you have to hang on to that pain instead of just feeling it, allowing it, and letting it go, which is what we need to do with all of our emotions. Not just the pain, but the happiness as well. The joy and happiness is not hang on to these emotions, but to feel them. They're there to just tell us where we're at in life. And in order for us to live our lives really effectively, you need to allow those stream of emotions to continue to flow. Because it's telling you where you're at. It's kind of like you're driving in a car, and you're constantly looking out the front window to see what's going on. Now imagine that you took a picture of what you're seeing out your front window, and you took that picture and developed it like a Polaroid, and you just held it in front of you because it was such a nice view that you had in that moment. And you're just looking at that picture while you're driving. Well, you would like run off the road really quickly. And so that's what our emotions are like. Our emotions, you don't want to hang on to your emotion that you had. You want to feel it. You want to get that feedback, that communication, feel the emotion, and then let it, like, understand what it's trying to tell you, and then let it go so that the other emotions can continue to flow within you and give you feedback and guidance on where you are in your life in relationship to what you're doing with your body, with your mind, with your soul, right? In every moment of your life, your soul is talking to you and saying, here's where you're at, right? So let those emotions come, feel them, acknowledge them, and then let them go, and that's what being in the moment is all about, being in the present moment. not thinking too far ahead in the future, and not really paying too much attention to the past. But, it's that 80-20, kind of like 80% of your attention should be on the present, 10% on the past, 10% on the future, but 80% like in the present, in the moment, because that's where life is really happening, right? Anyway, that's it for the week. Have a great week. I wish you all well. Be healthy, be safe, and with luck, I'll see you next Sunday. Okay, take care. Bye.